Time having arrived, I declare this hearing open. And before we begin, can we just all please rise and salute our beautiful flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, councilors and guests, welcome to the 2024 public hearings to determine the rate factor. Mr. Clerk.
City of Brockton special meeting public hearing. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40, Section 56 of the Mass General Laws, a public hearing will be held on Monday, November 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the City Hall, 45 School Street, Brockton, Mass., second floor, council chambers, on the question of adoption of the percentages of the local tax levy to be borne by each class of real property for fiscal year 2025. Written and oral arguments will be taken at this time. And at this time, Mr. President, we have no members of the public who have signed up to speak.
Is there anyone here in favor of the proposed factor? If so, please approach and provide your name and address to the clerk. Qu'est-ce que le problème?
I'm just saying that this part of the process or hearing is to be at 6:15. Correct?
There's a meeting at 6:15 where you guys the council will speak to. This is still part of the public hearing. They can just explain for the public what we'll actually be voting on.
Understood.
And we'll leave the hearing open so that if any members of the public show up in the next 10 minutes, they can come in and speak.
That's important. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. I'm Troy Clarkson. I am honored to be your Chief Financial Officer, and with me is John O'Donnell, Chair of the Board of Assessors, and we do have the other two members of the board with us as well. So I'll, as I have done the past several years, give you a very brief outline of what we're here for and what this hearing is designed to do, and then John, for benefit both of you and as the Chair stated for the public, give some explanation. All of you should have the extensive packet that John and his office have prepared. For members of the public that are watching, this is available on the website. But as always, if members of the public have any questions, you can reach out to my office or John's. This is an annual hearing that occurs in every municipality in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. In a town, it would be the select board or the Board of Selectmen, and here in this city, in cities, it's the City Council. And what's being asked of you tonight is to set what's called the factor. You set the percentage by which the commercial, residential, and industrial tax rates differ, or in the case of some communities in the Commonwealth, if it's a factor of 1, that means the tax rate for all of those classifications is the same. John will explain to you that the maximum factor that you can implement is 1.75, and that means there's a difference between the residential and the commercial and industrial sectors. This body has generally determined that there should be a split rate, which has the impact of lessening the financial burden on single-family homeowners. It's changed throughout the years, but you elected, I think, 2 years ago to
4 years ago
to go to the max of 1.75. So that's what John will recommend, that you maintain that factor at 1.75. But he's prepared an extensive presentation that provides some texture to that. So with your indulgence, Mr. Chair, I'll give the floor to Mr. O'Donnell.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Good evening, councilors. The City of Brockton was required by the Department of Revenue to complete an interim year adjustment for fiscal year 2025. Assessors must annually adjust valuations to reflect changes in the tax base. The city will be required to complete a 5-year certification valuation program for fiscal year 2026. The purpose of revaluation is to distribute the tax burden in an equitable way, not to determine the amount of the tax burden. The amount of the tax burden is determined through city's budgeting and legislative process. Assessments represent 100% market value as required by Massachusetts general law. The assessments for fiscal year 2025 represent the estimate of market value as of January 1st, 2024. The fiscal year 2025 assessments are determined by examining sales of properties from calendar year 2023. The purpose of this hearing is to establish the proportion of the tax levy raised by the residential, commercial, industrial, and personal property classes. This hearing is required under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 56. As Troy was stated, 4 years ago, council elected to move the residential factor to 1.75. And I've had a number of questions by various councilors about how does that affect our values or affect the residents. So this year at 175, it's page 25, the median shift. So at 175, the median single family would go up $200. The median two-family would go up $286. The median three-family would go up $273. And the median commercial would go up $295. And the median industrial would go up $62. It's typically, we have a larger range than this when values are certified by the state. We've had years where single families have gone up $300. With years, last year it only went up $115. Multis went up three families went up $500 last year. So this is, the burden is a lot less on the taxpayers. I'll answer any questions you guys may have.
That'll be,
Well, that will be on our next meeting.
Okay.
Now it's just a meeting of visitors and people who are for or
All right.
against the, is there anyone else here that wants to speak to us on behalf of yourselves about the factor?
seeing none.
See none? I declare that portion closed. I guess we just,
Is there anyone here?
is anybody here in opposition to the factor that was just discussed? Going once, going twice, hearing none, that portion is closed. Now we just closed.
Public hearing is now closed.
And now I guess I'll declare the public hearing closed.